The show is over, say goodbye. Steve White's 89 here. Everyone is singing Take a Bow. The official announcement has been made. The final two shows of the Madonna X tour, March 10th and 11th, have been cancelled. Now, sadly, they were actually shows that had actually supposed to have happened earlier on in March that were postponed and moved to those dates. So had she not rescheduled them, the tour would have actually finished as it was supposed to, but she did. So it's been a very anxious wait for a lot of people with tickets. There was some hope that basically that there'd been an exemption, because basically what happened was the French government declared a stage-free state of emergency, which bans events of over 1,000 people from happening. And of course, Le Grand Rex has 2,800 seats, and they basically were using all of them in their setup, and they were booked out. So there was no way that the concert could go ahead, although there was some thought, because there were some exemptions for some events or things that were considered useful to the nation, and I think some people thought maybe a Madonna concert might be culturally relevant and might get a pass. So some people were hanging on desperately, hoping that the concerts would go ahead, even though Wikipedia had taken them off and noted. And I'd heard a couple of days ago from my friend that they were going to declare stage free, and that those two shows were not happening, and that show, the show coming up on the 8th of March, was the final show. And that turned out to be true. So I kind of knew, but I didn't have any proof. I did a video, but I didn't actually, there was no official notice or anything. So part of me is relieved that it's finally over, because it's been such a shit show and a nightmare. All the cancellations, the reschedules, just people just playing Madame X roulette, not knowing if the show was going to go on, if it was going to be cancelled, rescheduled, if it was rescheduled but still going to happen because she might cancel last minute. The concert on the 7th, she cancelled, I think, 2 or 3 hours before it was supposed to go on. So people were showing up early at the venue and finding out when they were there that it was cancelled. So that was pretty awful, and it's such a pity she did cancel that show. She probably wouldn't have cancelled it if she'd known it was one of the last two. But I guess she thought she had the 10th and the 11th coming. Now, of course, my computer's playing up. The official announcement was made around 4 p.m. I had heard that it was going to happen before 5, like before the end of business hours at night today. So I was told it was definitely cancelled, and the announcement was going to be made, and it would be made by the end of business hours. So I was just sort of waiting, because you know, the time difference in that. It's about 4:45 p.m. In Paris now, so it was released, I think, around 4 p.m. So pretty much right on time. So it's pretty sad, like I said. The official announcement said, following official notification from the Office of the Police this morning prohibiting all events with an audience attendance of over 1,000, Live Nation regrets to announce the final two Madame X performances, previously rescheduled to the 10th and the 11th of March, are forced to be cancelled. Tickets are refundable at the point of purchase. We regret the disappointment to fans. Apparently people who had the VIP package had a bit of a clue, because the times they were supposed to come to have a tour of the venue and that beforehand had changed slightly. So Madonna came on 10:45 p.m. and finished 1:15 p.m. on the 8th, and she sort of addressed it, and I'm surprised she didn't treat it like a final concert. She said, I heard the news just before I came on stage. I can't believe it. You know what I'm talking about, right? It just goes to show we never know what's in store for us when it's time. And a bit later she said, I really do want to say thank you so much for tolerating me and tolerating all the cancellations on this tour. But when you have an injury so bad that you can't get out of bed, then you certainly can't get up on stage, and sadly that's the way it goes. And last off she said, I'm going to miss you guys. I'm going to miss performing the show every night. Um, now, I got most of this from Madonna Tribe, and they put up an article before the official word had come out, but they knew it was coming too, so they did that. And there wasn't much else official word. Yeah, just that the country's health minister announced that the gatherings for over 1,000, will be banned in France to try and contain the outbreak. And of course, Le Grand Rex has 2,800 people, so that pretty much spelled the end of that. I mean, like I said, I'm kind of glad it's over. I mean, I've been covering this tour, like doing videos and talking about it for the last 6 months, pretty much almost exactly. And it's just been so much negativity and so many people disappointed, so many messages from people telling me their sad stories of how they had a ticket for that night, or they rescheduled, or they were in one of the rescheduled tickets and couldn't make it, shows couldn't make it. It's just been really sad. I mean, a lot of people have been talking about how much they enjoyed the shows, sort of to counter me, like, no, I went, it was great, it's a great show. And I'm like, well, yes, it was great for you, your show went on. A lot of people's didn't. So, and I've said that I didn't think the show from the videos I see were very impressive, but people have said in person it was impressive and it was brilliant and it was the best sort of Madonna show they've been on. The intimacy and the small venues just made such a difference, even though the actual staging was kind of minimal. Fine. I understand the experience can be a lot different from what we feel when we watch videos or we see photos. So I don't doubt that it was a great experience, but it's over, it's done. I just am glad because I want the next Madonna era to start just as soon as possible. I didn't like Madame X. I didn't think it worked. I didn't think it worked with the album. I didn't think it worked with the show. There was just something about it that was off. I wasn't the only person that felt that way, although yes, a lot of people embraced it and enjoyed it, but it's done, it's over. I'm kind of gonna miss making videos on it though. The news would drop and I'd be like, oh, I better make a video about that, or something would happen. I'd just be like, oh my god, I want to talk about this, and it was fun. Getting comments from people, talking to people, sharing people's stories, hearing people's stories. Being able to give a few people some information who didn't know what was happening, but yet I sort of had heard stuff, so that was nice. But it also was bad to be the bearer of bad news, to have to tell a few people, oh, it has been cancelled, this show has been cancelled, it has been rescheduled, or whatever. But it has been interesting to feel sort of a part of the community for a minute, sort of just through talking to people and that. And there's not going to be much happening for a while. I can't see Madonna doing much for a while. She set this concert up. She made a bed. She had to lay in it. So I understand how that went. But I think she's going to give herself a bit of a break. There's been talk of a movie. People have commented that she doesn't appear to have any record or tour contracts in the future. So if that will happen, if she will go into semi-retirement, if she'll do a proper residency somewhere, or if she will just do another tour similar to this, or whether she will go back and do an arena show and just cut back on the choreography and no stairs. I'm not sure what's going to happen. No one knows what's going to happen. It's interesting. I just look forward to the next Madame X and the next Madonna era. I'm quite happy for Madame X to go away and, release Madonna, take her out of the basement or wherever she's hiding her in a secret headquarters somewhere. And she can go back to work. She can rest, recuperate, and get to work on the next era, the next album, the next film, the next project, whatever she's going to do next, because she's a creative person. She may be 61. She may have some physical problems so far as touring, doing a heavy tour with a lot of dancing and choreography, back-to-back shows. Maybe things like that are not going to happen the same as they did 5, 10, 15 years ago. But I don't believe she's going to retire anytime soon. She may start to prepare for a retirement, semi-retirement soon, probably in the next 5, 10 years. But I don't see anything changing in the next couple of years. She stubbornly resisted this obvious physical problem and I think she's going to resist and rebel against all the other things coming at her. And most of them she'll be able to handle better than a bad knee. You really can't argue with a bad knee. It just is going to hurt. I know from my own experience you cannot get around it. You just have to lay down until it gets better. But she didn't do that because she had shows to do. But if other things, recording, film, stuff like that, that don't rely on such physicality, she will keep going. So I look forward to Madonna's future. I am a fan. I love her. I love everything she did, except probably the Who's That Girl era, tour era, and the Madame X tour era. I never liked either of them. One I didn't have to live through, fortunately. I just saw it afterwards and went, oh, thank God that is over. Madame X I had to live through. But the next one I'm excited about. And I feel bad for people who've missed the last show. Someone just messaged me before asking me if, what they thought was going to happen. Now, he'd seen every other concert, and this was the last, he just booked this one concert on the second last night. And he's seen every concert except this one. And I felt bad for him, and then I thought, just wait a minute, you've only seen one of her concerts out of all her concerts, and you're feeling bad for a guy who saw 10 out of 11. I had to sort of calm down there for a second. But yeah, it's over 11 minutes. I've been talking enough. It's over. The show is over. Say goodbye. Goodbye, Madame X. Madame X has left the building. Bye, girl. I'm not going to miss you, but I feel bad for the fans who wanted to see Madame X who didn't get to, and I just hope the next show is done differently, and I have the faith and perhaps more expendable income to actually try and see a couple of shows, because every concert I had planned to see was cancelled. So had I tried to do this tour and tried to go to a couple of countries or try to go to a couple of different, it would have screwed up every time. I would have been devastated every time. I would have lost money every time. I'm so glad I sat it out. I knew this was going to happen somehow. I'm a little psychic. And I knew it was going to be a shit show, and that's kind of why I wanted to cover it. But I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. I will be making more Madonna videos. I'm going to make videos about her other tours, the concerts I went to, the movies of hers that I've seen, just stuff that I love about Madonna, stuff that, yes, is past tense, but also just to fill time while I wait for the next Madonna project or the next Madonna controversy, whatever's going to come next, the next era. I look forward to it, and I hope you all look forward to it, and I hope we all enjoy it more than some of us enjoyed Madame X. I know some of us did, so I'm just happy for those who did, and happy for those who didn't that it's over. But I'm going to go. Thanks. Bye.